Hey, all you Wall Street winners out there, you know what time it is. It's the September 19th edition of Wall Street Winners, celebrating our 27th year. We're almost into our 28th year. All right, so the market did exactly as I told you last week. We had the little rally. Now we're starting to collapse-orama. This is the big next leg down. Now, we'll get into the seasonality here in just a second, but clearly we're breaking lows here. This is bad price action, big gap here, island reversal. It really sucks. That's all I can say. Selling pressure skyrocketing, buying pressure going down, but not dramatically so. Now, when we see selling pressure get up at this level or higher, we tend to get a rally. But I think we're going to get a little bit more downside pressure first. Then we'll get another little mini rally. It's not going to be big deal. Here we see the purple predictor is collapsing over in the NASDAQ. See you later, NASDAQ. Seasonality, we're still neutral on the stock market, but you got to be bullish on Utes. Now, they broke the high, which we used as our signal to get long, but you can see no follow through. No follow through. So I'm not buying them yet. If I did, I'd only buy a break of these highs up here. The Utes, they expire end of October 30th, so there's not a lot left of time left in there. Now, here we are here. We're in the middle of September. We're getting down into this period here. There's the collapse we just had, a little bit of stability, maybe a little rally here into October. And then the bottom, we make it at the end of October. So this is going to be another false dawn for the marketplace. Now, asset allocation, they're bailing. We had seen a big increase of money coming into the stock market from the bond market, but now we're seeing it disappear. They're taking their money out of the stock market and putting it into safe bonds. And you can see here, though, they don't mind being in riskier stocks. Now, we're not where the risk was way over here last year, a year ago. But nonetheless, you can see that since July, beginning of July, we've slowly increased the amount of risk that the market wants to take. Eventually, that will lead us to a bottom in the market. But right now, it's so tepid, we can't very well say it's a bottom. Global shares also collapsing. Notice right here, we don't have the RSI going down to the alert line, which we use to call this rally, which, of course, if you're a long time, or even if you're a short time follower of Wall Street Winners, you know we call these markets really better than anybody in the world. So here we are here. We're coming down here. But notice we're getting a divergence. Now, it's not a strong divergence yet. Let's wait a week and then we'll call it. But if we make a lower low here and not a lower low here, that'll be another reason to look for a little bit of a rally. Yield curve, as you can see on the left-hand side, totally flat. That's why we're in a recession. I told you about this last year. I told you we'd be in a recession this year. But we haven't got to the worst part of it yet. That's still to come here in the next 6 months. This was an interesting story here. I told you we'd see bonds move lower, but notice that the purple predictor is starting to flatten out here, showing that some of the smart money is coming in and buying bonds here, looking for either locking in some good yields, or maybe they think that yields are going to go down and bonds are going to go up. So that's a little bit of a sign of strength, but our key indicators are skyrocketing up, saying, except for gold's still going down, but most of the indicators are telling us we're going to see higher interest rates. The dollar bounced back up when we saw the bonds go down. We saw the dollar go up. We're going to go make higher highs in the bonds. This is going to be a multi-month bull market. If dollar is going up, that means gold is, breaking previous lows. Clear bear market here. I told you last week we got to be short. I'm not short. I wish I was short, but a moral victory. I told you what was going to happen, and it happened. Our indicators remain 1 neutral, 2 bearish, so we still have to remain on the bear side of this market. Now, this is very interesting to me. Purple predictor of crude oil is in a clear bull market, Crude oil itself is in kind of a neutral to bear market. We did make some higher highs here, then we made lower lows. So, I mean, I guess basically it's a bear market, but the purple predictor is a bull market. And that tells me that we're probably getting near a low in the oil market, that the smart money's coming in and buying this dip. And the further down we go in price, the more eager they are to buy. So they're buying this big dip here. Speaking to people in the industry, they don't think oil's going below $75 a barrel. Here we are at 85-ish. So I think the smart money is saying there's only $10 downside risk maximum. Now, we haven't got into the hard part of the recession yet. I have a feeling that's going to knock the price of crude oil down. Supply is tightening, but I think demand is going to slip more. Bitcoin had that rally, and then, but the purple predictor made higher highs, even though the price was making lower lows. Now, this makes me not want to sell it short. So I'm not going to sell short. Oh, I am. What am I saying? I am short Bitcoin, but it makes me nervous, and I'll get out. If there's any sign of strength in Bitcoin at all, I'll get out, because the purple predictor is telling us we should be a buyer, but price action is telling us we should be a seller. So I am short Bitcoin right now, but nervous. All right, freebies, you know we love having you here, but you really ought to become a fully paid up member. I want to tell you about a concept that we call extreme profits. I'll tell you what it's generically called in a second, but this is the most powerful risk management tool ever invented. Now, normally I use a technique, and what I teach in most of my courses is a technique called fixed fractional. And I teach that technique for a very simple reason. It's the best balance between a risk and reward, the best balance. But extreme profits, this technique is not about balance. It's about extreme profits. So it's kind of insane, but it does lead, it can, if you do it right. You have to do it right. So there is a caveat there. You have to do it right, and then it becomes the most profitable system ever. Now, this is based on research by John Kelly, who was a Bell Labs scientist, and it was perfected by my friend Ed Thorpe, who was the guy who really popularized card counting in blackjack. And it's called the Kelly formula. You can Google it, and you can learn quite a bit about it online. And what the Kelly formula does, though, is it's not designed for this balance between risk and reward. It's designed to maximize profitability. Maximize profitability. So it turns risk management from a defensive weapon into an offensive weapon that you can wield to maximize profitability. Well, it's, nothing is for free. So the bad news with this technique is that there's much higher equity volatility. If you did it the way Kelly and Thorpe used it, you could see your account drop 50% in one day. Now, that's not the way I use it. I've completely modified it so that it's far more relaxed. Still higher equity volatility than I normally have and what I normally teach, but much less than the way it's taught by John Kelly, Ed Thorpe, etc. The good news, if done correctly, it can lead to dramatically higher profits. I said a second ago that you could lose 50% in one day. Yeah, but you could also double your account in a day as well. So, as you can see, it's dramatic in both directions, but do it correctly. Now, the Kelly formula was actually invented for as a formula, John Kelly, to how to get more information to go through a copper wire. He worked for Bell Labs, and so they were trying to figure out how to get more information to go through a copper wire. But then guys like Ed Thorpe and other mathematicians came along and realized that it could be used for gambling and it could be used for investing. And Ed Thorpe built a tremendous career as an investor. I wouldn't even say he was all that good of an investor, but he used the Kelly formula better than anybody I've ever seen. So that's what it's all about. Now, how can, oops, hang on. See, I'm going too fast. I'm too excited. So how can you get this? We've put together a course on extreme profits. I used many years ago. I did a course quite often. It was a $5,000 course, and we did it on futures and Forex. And it was incredible. I mean, it was just an incredible course that cost $5,000. Well, what we've done is we've now adapted this for stock traders. This is amazing. Nobody's ever taught anything like this ever. Now, in order to get this, you have to join the Wealth Builder Insider Membership Program. And that's a modestly priced monthly membership program. I'll show you the URL in just a second here, and you can click on it. But you get this course, which we're posting pieces of it every day now, on the website. And you get that, but then you get the most extensive education on stock and option trading in the world. This membership site, well, I'll be frank with you. The problem with it is that there's too much. You get too much. So we even had to add a section on how to actually attack the website, because it's going to teach you asset allocation, stock selection, swing trading, position trading, multiple techniques for stock selection, ETF trading, everything. It's really, quite frankly, a bit overwhelming. So the very first section, which we call the hub, tells you how to attack it in a logical manner, depending on what you're most interested in. And of course, we also have options trading on there as well. And that's all for one low monthly price. This is like getting 10 PhDs for a peanut. So where can you get this? Well, it's pretty simple. You just go to wealthbuilderinsider.com. wealthbuilderinsider.com. You don't need the capitals, but I just made it capital so you can read it easier. But go there, check it out. Remember that what's not on this website here is we've just added our Extreme Profits for Stocks course inside the Wealth Builder Insider. All right, everybody, go there now. I'll see you inside.